You know, one thing that really irritates me about living in Florida is it really seems like there's a lot of crime here. And we're only fifth of the nation as crime rate goes, but as you can see, the states above us have a much lower population than we do. And so these are just some of the funny things that we see. This guy here decided to break into prison, and this is actually not the first time I've seen something like this. I know I've seen this happen in the past, and this happened January 15th, so this is pretty recent. He said he was on a drug called flakka, and he wanted to visit his friends who were locked up in jail. I mean, you kind of have to feel for the guy. He just wanted to hang out, with his friends, and I'm not sure about this flakka. I know it's not something around that was around when I was a kid, but it sounds pretty dangerous to me. Looks like he got stuck on the barbed wire, the razor wire, which that's got to be pretty painful, I would think. So this is one that has been a big story here where I live in Orlando, where this guy actually killed a police officer trying to get away. And according to the article, he's been on the run for 3 months, or 1 month, sorry. And actually, he killed the police officer on January 9th and wasn't caught until the 18th. So that's pretty interesting that it took them a whole 9 days to actually catch this guy. And you would think that they wouldn't be any more motivated to catch someone than after something like that happened. Apparently, he was hiding in this nice little house here. As you can see, he even has his own refrigerator. So that's just the special type of person that we tend to run into in this state. There are some more, I can't call this a more lighthearted story. When I first heard this, unfortunately, I have to admit that I thought it was funny because all I heard on the radio was that a guy attacked a flamingo, an Orlando man, which isn't the type of thing that, it should surprise me, but it isn't the type of thing that surprises me anymore. Until I actually heard what really happened, that he actually hurt the flamingo so bad that he killed it. And this bird was in a zoo. It was in Busch Gardens, I should say, a theme park. And so it's an animal that people actually had somewhat of a relationship with and actually had interactions with. So that kind of thing actually makes me pretty sick, especially considering, his bail set at $5,000. So he'll probably be out in no time. And even this just happened recently. This one was back in August 3rd, so that's when it happened. So I must be hearing about it because he's going to court at this point. But I did hear about it today on the radio and thought it was pretty crazy. This one's a bit more humorous. This man was accused of squirting conditioner at women and pleasuring himself at a Target. A 27-year-old man squirting conditioner on the backsides of women at a Target near the USF campus. Thank God I go to UCF. Deputies say he was masturbating as well. Well, that's pretty lewd. They arrested him at 4:30 on Sunday, and they have surveillance camera footage of him doing it. 4 counts of battery and 1 of indecent exposure. And it looks like no report of him being on any drugs, which is just that type of thing that makes me wonder, what are we doing wrong in this state that we end up with people like this on such a regular basis? Because this here was, January 16th. That was just a few days ago. And so another one we can look at, this was January 13th. That was not even a week ago. This man in Pensacola was charged with repeated sexual assault of a pit bull over 3.5 years. He was 23. He was arrested Monday after his roommate figured it out, apparently. Accuser told the police he'd seen him take the dog into the bedroom for sexual abuse at least 100 times. She claims she witnessed it through a hole in the door that was caused by a violent outburst. Now, I've seen a lot of crazy things in this state, and one thing I've never understood is what's with putting holes in doors. Never really quite understood that. Maybe they're trying to get in, maybe that's what the outburst is all about, but, it's this type of thing that makes me really wonder what exactly are we doing wrong in this state. A lot of people say, well, we have a drug problem and a high population, But the brand of crime that tends to be committed is sometimes it's funny, but it's always really crazy. And as you can see, it's not always directly related to drugs anyway. So, if you're considering living in Florida, just keep in mind that this is the type of thing that you have to deal with. This is not just a very rare thing. This type of thing happens literally every day in Florida, and it's not fun to deal with. No, it's not fun to deal with. But just keep that in mind if you want to come visit or, God forbid, come live here.